Good evening, all. This is Victoria Sharp, and if you're not already sitting down, you need to be. Because what I'm about to tell you should shake every American to their core. 2 West Virginia National Guard members are dead tonight. Dead. On American soil. Not in some foreign war zone, right here in Washington, D.C. And they died following orders that a federal judge has ruled were illegal. Let that sink in for a moment. The illegal deployment. In August, President Trump, a man convicted of 34 felonies in New York, deployed the D.C. National Guard to patrol the streets of our nation's capital. Not because D.C.'s mayor requested it, not because there was an insurrection or natural disaster, but because he decided American streets needed military occupation. Last week, a federal judge ruled that this deployment was unlawful. The administration, quote, exceeded the bounds of their authority and acted contrary to law. The judge found they deployed the Guard for non-military crime deterrence missions without any request from D.C.'s civil authorities. That's not how this works in America. That's not how it's ever worked. The Posse Comitatus Act exists for a reason, to prevent exactly this kind of military deployment against American citizens on American soil. But here's what makes this even more egregious. These orders came from a convicted felon, 34 times convicted, and yet somehow he still has the authority to deploy American troops illegally? The veteran perspective. Now, I want to speak directly to every veteran watching, every active duty service member, every family member of someone who's worn the uniform. These guardsmen did what they were trained to do. They followed orders. They trusted their chain of command. They put on that uniform, picked up their weapon, and went where they were told to go. Because that's what good soldiers do. But here's the betrayal. The people at the top violated the oath these guardsmen kept. Every service member swears to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Not to support and defend a president, not to follow illegal orders, to defend the Constitution. And when leadership sends you on an unconstitutional mission, when a federal judge later rules that your very presence there was illegal, that's not defending the Constitution. That's violating it. These 2 guardsmen were put in an impossible position. They were following what they believed were lawful orders. They were doing their duty, and now they're dead, because someone at the top decided the law didn't apply to him. The accountability question. So here's my question. Who is responsible? When a deployment is ruled illegal by a federal court, and American service members die as a direct result of that illegal deployment, who answers for that? In the military, we have a principle. Leaders are responsible for everything their unit does or fails to do. If a private screws up, his sergeant answers for it. If a company fails its mission, the captain's career is over. But when a president, a convicted felon, orders an illegal deployment that gets guardsmen killed, what happens? What's the consequence? These weren't enemy combatants. These weren't terrorists. These were our people, Americans. Citizen soldiers who have jobs and families and lives back in West Virginia. They were weekend warriors, activated and sent to patrol American streets in a deployment that a federal judge has now confirmed was against the law. The bigger picture. And let's be clear about what this represents. This is what tyranny looks like in real time. It starts with illegal deployments of military forces on American soil. It continues when those illegal orders are followed despite court rulings. And it ends with dead Americans, service members who believed they were serving their country. The judge gave the administration until December 11th to appeal, which means as of right now, those troops are still there, still on an illegal mission, still at risk. How many more need to die before someone says enough? How many more families need to get that knock on the door before we remember that in America, no one is above the law, not even the president? To the families of these fallen guardsmen, your loved ones served honorably. They kept their oath. They did their duty. The failure wasn't theirs. It was the failure of leadership that put them in an unconstitutional situation and then refused to remove them even after a federal court ruled it illegal. To every service member watching, your oath is to the Constitution, not to any individual. And when orders violate that Constitution, we have not just the right, but the duty to question them. And to everyone else, pay attention. Because when the military can be deployed illegally on American streets, when service members can die following unconstitutional orders, and when there's no accountability at the top, we're not in a constitutional republic anymore. We're in something else entirely. This is Victoria Sharp for AYFKM. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and never ever stop asking questions.